Hello tanks and tankettes, welcome to a view replay courtesy of ASDIM here in the AMX 30. Now this is going to be a short match, in fact less than 5 minutes, and normally that just means a complete ruffle stomp. And it's kind of going to be that, but it's still not going to be lacking in action, even so. Now this is really good matchmaking, in fact it's both good matchmaking for him and the VK4502 that's on his team. Except that VK is really not going to be a factor in this game at all. You might be thinking, yeah, VK in this matchup, well, I mean there is 3 artillery, but still VK in this matchup, that's very, very strong indeed. A lot still depends on the player. A lot. Anyway, the AMX 30. I am personally unfamiliar with this tank. I do have the 1390, but I probably will go for the Lorraine first when I get sufficient XP, finally. It's been a very long grind up those French light tanks. But this particular pair of tanks that comes off the 1390 as an alternative to the Lorraine and the Batchat, the 30 and the 30B, they both seem pretty decent, but they also both seem similar in style to the Leopard and, well, the Tier 9 and 10 Leopards, and that's because they were basically designed with the same kind of concepts in mind. So, in terms of how it directly compares to the PTA, well, they've got very similar guns. I think this has less good aim time and less good accuracy, but it's got slightly better DPM. It's got slightly less penetration, but it's got about an extra horsepower per ton. So, you know, they probably just about work out as being even, all things considered. Although maybe this takes ammo rack damage less than the PTA. I don't know. So there's, as I've mentioned, 3 artillery. And, oh, hello, there's that CDC from earlier. And, yes, he just had his head popped off. Now, that could have been a high damage roll kill anyway, but the CDC is another machine that takes ammo rack damage like nobody's business, so yeah. And he did actually take the time to apologise there, as if it was somehow his fault that the guy got ammo racked, but I don't know, I guess he felt slightly guilty or something. But yeah, he's kind of alone here. I mean, there's a T-34 too, there's a T-32 all the way back. The VKB, I want you to pay attention to where he is right now. He's in K7. All of his teammates, including a platoon of the alien head tank, you don't see those very often, the M6A2E1, they're all pushing towards the enemy base. So there's a couple of defenders, including the enemy M103, but yeah, they're outnumbered here, although they do have artillery support. But of course, the enemy artillery is going to be pointing this way as well. So he's already done nearly 3,000 damage, including over 1,000 on that Tiger II alone. And although the gun handling is not quite as good as the PTA, it's still pretty decent. However, at this point they push, and the 5120 is obviously the dangerous target, so that's where he puts his attention to first. He doesn't want to get clipped by that guy. But the Super Pershing, meanwhile, is, well, trying to be aggressive, trying to just throw off his shot and just get in his face, and I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, the Super Pershing really is only good frontally, and if you're trying to tangle with enemy medium tanks, they can get around you generally very easily. So with the help of his allies behind him, the T-32 and an Indian Panzer, they've actually managed to basically wreck everything here in the space of only a couple of minutes, and it just leaves this T-37 who is now dead. So he did take some damage in that, but he used the Rex very well. He used his gun depression, he used the terrain where he could. He got very lucky in that he didn't get hit by any enemy artillery during any of that. And, of course, he did have the assistance of allies behind him. So even though they were all the way back there, they were actually, you know, shooting well enough. So talking of artillery, there's 3 of them. I'm just going to point that out, and of course you're obviously going to figure out what that means now I've said that there's 3 of them. But yeah, this is a nice extra bit of damage, a few extra kills, and in fact there's even the chance of a top gun here if he does get all of them. So that's 2 down, which just leaves the 53-55, which is the nasty one. That thing could still kill him potentially, but there are multiple tanks coming in on this guy, including a 12T firing on the move. Now, he's going to stop and aim this, and, oh, 53-55 looks like he was looking at him, but fortunately it missed. It can't have been a very aimed shot, and even more fortunately he was able to high roll and get the guy with 1 shot. Because this is a 105mm gun, it gets 390 average, so It's always nice when you get those high rolls in artillery. So that just leaves this T-95. And you see what I mean when I said it was a ruffle stomp. So he's got his top gun. Can he get this this last kill? Maybe 12 T-plus a shot, and he gets the final shot. So that gets him 7 kills with 5,717 damage, and an ace tanker, and a Pascucci's medal, and a steel wall, and a high caliber. But a steel wall, I mean, really? Okay, must have been just enough. But I guess we'll see on the score screen. Hey. So, easily top of his team. I mean, he did have a bit of help there. But even so, he was doing by far the lion's share of the damage on that particular side of the map. And he just wrecked face. He had one shot that bounced. Every other shot hit and penned. And, you know, without a premium account at tier 9, it's not a heck of a lot of profit, but that's still, like, he had to be pleased by that. That's not bad for less than 5 minutes work. It's not bad at all. So, for the very first AMX 30 game I've had on the channel, that was a short but at times rather intense one. Eventually, maybe someday, I will go down that line myself, but it's a very low priority. The Bat Chat is the iconic one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the Lorraine to the Bat Chat well before I get round to the AMX 30s, because it's just one of those machines. It's like a Bat Chat, man. It's just, you know, it's a Bat Chat. You just have to have one, you know? You just have to. Anyway, at least, you know, that's how I feel about it. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I know it was a bit on the short side, but I promise we've got something much more in-depth for you tomorrow. And if you have enjoyed it, you can hit the like button. You can sub to my channel if you aren't already. And as always, stay tuned for more.